Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is for my trucking people out there. Shout out to my truck drivers. I'm just sitting at a place going middle of the day. Gonna have to wait the rest of the day to get loaded tomorrow because we had a delay. But it is a nice, I like days like this. I talk about it, man. It's raining. It's a rainy day. Even for me, this was a little bit too much, but a big system rolled through over here on the far east coast where we're at. And I just like this stuff, man. I like seeing the rain and the weather rolling in. I like being in the mix. When I was a kid, I really liked weather and meteorology and stuff, but it's one of those little things when you're out here working and grinding so hard, you grasp on every little straw that you can to get you through the day, the weeks, the months, of the sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice out here, a lot more than just driving a truck. Let's talk about that. One of the job duties that is not in the job description, one of many, but it's dealing with the people that are unloading the trucks, folks. All you truck drivers out there, you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, one of your job descriptions that really, especially if you want to actually stay consistent and make the most out here, when you're done driving the truck, when you're done doing your job is not done. You're sitting in the truck and trailer. You're waiting to be unloaded. It takes hours sometimes. And a lot of times, sometimes it's really unreasonable. I'm talking about a little bit of a situation that happened today. It's nothing catastrophic. It was just a little something. And to be honest with you, I've been working so hard lately. I'm okay with it, but it messes up my check. It's not only going to mess up one day, but it's going to mess up the whole week. And then when you look at the end of the month, even though I was at work, but I didn't get paid because some things happen. And that's trucking. And that's talking about it. And maybe it's kind of cathartic for other truck drivers to hear about it, talk about it. I know it has been for me sometimes. So shout out to my truck drivers. But when you're done driving the truck, you've done your job, man. You've already done your job. You're probably putting in 70 hours a week. You've already done tasks and parts of your job that aren't really your job, but it's part of getting the job done. And then you have other people out there that tell you, well, if you don't like it, get out. Well, it's got to get done. And somebody's going to do it. But we should get that pay up. We should get the pay up so that we can get truck drivers to not have to work 70 hours a week to have a job. Because there's not a whole lot of 40-hour weeks out here. It's very limited. And, that's the deal. I want to see truck drivers making more money and working less. Having a work-life balance. There's not it's not a ton of good or great options for making good or great money and also having, the right scenario, the right fit for you that gives you the work-life balance that you're looking for. Okay? But they are out there. Hey, and look, disclaimer again. Trucking has changed my life for the better, at least so far. And I've come up. And, it is what it is. That's what my intentions were. But let's talk about today. So one of the other job duties, when you've done your work, you've done all your stuff. You get there to a place to unload or to get loaded. One of your jobs is to, well, it shouldn't be, but it tends to be, and I don't do it enough, to be honest. You got to micromanage the people at the shippers and receivers to get you unloaded and to get you out of there. Because, corporate, they got these protocols, they got things they need you to do that are completely unnecessary. These check-in processes, all these different, things that you have to do to get to a door, to get unloaded, and then to get out of there. And also to get your paperwork. These are all different steps that take time that we're not getting paid for. And that we should be. And that can really mess up your day. So let's talk about what happened. And this stuff happens. It happens, man. So I get into a place and I've literally got like a couple pallets. This whole 53-foot long truck, it's just a couple pallets of product. Now, at this place, to add insult to injury, they have what's called a lumper. So the lumper is one of the biggest scams, in my opinion, in the industry. It's a lumper is where you have a third party that works in the warehouse that unloads the truck, and they basically disassemble the pallets and they like do inventory or whatever they're doing. They basically break the pallets down. That shouldn't be any of our time. It shouldn't be any of us, but they make us wait in order to do that. And then they charge a hefty fee to do that. And if your broker's paying it, it's being paid through the system. And it's to me, it's just ridiculous. Every place I go to that does the lumpers, where they have people do that, they take a lot longer to unload. They do not care about your time, nobody's time. And they have this whole process of being able to get to a door, then they finally get unloaded. You can sit at a door and wait for hours before they even touch your stuff. And then they might unload a pallet, and 20 minutes later, grab another pallet. 20 minutes later, grab another pallet. 30 minutes later, grab another pallet. 20 minutes later, grab a few pallets real quick, and all of a sudden go ghost for 30 minutes to an hour. You know, that shouldn't be any of our time. But they charge a hefty fee for this, and it gets paid through. And then you got places like one of the places right down the road where we pick up at, they want drivers to strap 12 straps, which is way beyond the DOT safety regulation. They want it for their product, to keep their product together, because some driver had an accident. But they don't want to pay for that. It's taking me an hour to do that every time. I'm driving. And they don't want to pay. They don't even want to pay $20, $25. I don't need much to make me feel like at least I'm getting something. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to do any of that. So it's funny how they'll pay $200. They'll charge $200 to unload a truck through a lumper. You know, $125 to $300. But guess what? You know, when it comes time to pay the truck driver or the carrier for extra stuff that they're having to do for their load, they don't want to pay it. But let's talk about this situation beyond that lumper. Listen, I sat at this place for 3.5 hours. Couple pallets. And it was a lack of communication. You have to micromanage these people if you want to get out of places fast. I don't do it enough. And especially today, I was having a really nice conversation with the guy next door to me. So my job is done. It should be done. I should be able to trust and rely on somebody to do their damn job. But especially with people that get paid hourly, shit, you can't. See, I don't get paid hourly. I'm basically commissioned. That's how truck driving is. I get paid commission. If the wheels ain't turning, I ain't earning. Very simple. Very simple. All right. So, but, you know, just the biggest thing is 3.5 hours for a couple pallets. And I sat there for like over 2 hours. I thought I was filling them. I thought they were done and ready. I was actually calling them. No. You know, it's really unreal. And you know what happened? And this is what happens. I've got a place where I should have plenty of time to get unloaded. I actually took my time this morning because I thought I had plenty of time. You know, when I say I took my time this morning, it wasn't an appointment. It was a window of time that I could check in. From midnight last night to 10 o'clock in the morning. Come to find out, they don't accept anybody until 7 a.m. So I have to go through all this, and when I parked last night to find out this. That's not in my job description, but I have to figure that stuff out. We all, you know, unfortunately have to do all these extra things. Okay? And at least I was able to have a place to park overnight. That almost makes up for a lot of it, to be honest with you, just being able to have that. Think about the places that don't even want to do that. So many places, you show up, they want to kick you out. Like, they literally tell you, get the hell off the property. You got to go. Period. Don't matter. Don't care if you don't have hours. Don't care if you can't get somewhere and park safely and legally. They do not care. And it's bad. It's bad on that. But, you know, and the bigger the corporation, the bigger the company you're unloading with, the worse it is. And this is what I tell people now that I've been in trucking and I've unloaded for some of the biggest corporations and companies, and I've dealt with small mom and pops. I can tell you right here, right now, you get a good, because outside of being a consumer for them, you really figure out how corporate America really feels about people in general. And that's why they want to replace all of us with AI and robots. Okay. They don't care. They do not care. because you really realize just how bad the whole corporate America thing is, in the sense that they really don't care. They don't, that when it comes to getting their bottom line, they're not here to help nobody. And that's just not human nature. That's just not normal. It's not okay. I don't care anybody out there wants to say, well, that's business and, blah, da, 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 da. Listen, this is America, and we are human beings. Should be at least a little better than that, right? But it's not. And somebody got to say something. Somebody got to stand on business. Now, I'm not saying bend over and let people just live inside the plant. Come on now. But come on, man. So the deal is that it messed me up, because when I could have checked in, if I had known it would have taken them so long, I would have been able to check in. Now, I'm not holding anything on me, because they're supposed to do their job. They didn't do their job. They did it to the bare minimum. I mean, come on, man. And I tell you, the real part about it is that you can't trust them. And it adds more stress and more that a truck driver has to commit to. Because I have to make up, as a truck driver, I have to make up for other people's incompetence, laziness, inability to do their job, or the mix-ups, whether it be from the brokers, all kind of people. I have to make up for that. Now, do I have bad days? Do I have, situations? Do I have, things come up that I make mistakes? Absolutely. I have to pay for those too. Now, somebody else has to sometimes pay for those too. But when I tell you, a lot of the brokers, I feel like they think the truck drivers are like really messing up all the time. I'm going to tell you right now, between the brokers and all this, other stuff, I'm the one that has to pick up so much slack. All right. And then it falls on the carriers to pick up a lot of that slack too, because they have to pick up on slack on us. So my thing is that, when they take that long, I have to compensate for that. That's part of my job, that I have to actually always just go as hard as I can to get somewhere as soon as I can, and to go above and beyond on that level. When, I'm working really hard and I've got so much, I want to be able to kind of sleep in the morning. Let me sleep in, kind of ease into the day, and then go hard, because I'm still going to have to put a 12 to 16 hour day in. I'm not saying I'm working a 6 hour day. Okay. There's almost no such thing as that out here. Okay. But I'm saying ease into the day, but because I can't afford to give them slack, you have to micromanage that. You have to manage the other variables, whether it be traffic or the people unloading trucks, all kind of stuff. You have to micromanage that. And some of it's just ridiculous. Now, the traffic, that's part of our job, figuring out the route, all that. Yeah, absolutely. But stuff like this, it's just crazy, man. Now, get it. Look, there's some people out there, they have the means, they unload the trucks quick. I meet some nice and great people out here. Get you going almost too fast. When I say almost too fast, because I'm not used to it. And heck, sometimes we're still trying to book another load, but we're happy to have it. We're blessed and thankful to have that. And we appreciate everyone out there in every situation that's like that. But the bigger the corporation, man, these big distribution centers and stuff, man, a lot of times it's like that. I literally sat there for over 2 hours thinking that they had probably done and they're working on my paperwork and I'm going to hear from them soon, just to come and find out that some lady comes walking up asking me to like reposition just a little, which I was straight in there, everything's fine, but they couldn't get their dock plate, they couldn't secure me in. Hell, I thought y'all had already gotten the product off. Not only have I been waiting here this long, but yet, and she didn't even explain it the right way. She didn't tell me what she needed to do. She was really didn't know at all. I had to tell her, oh, this is probably what you want me to do. And she said, oh, okay, yeah. So I do that, and it wasn't the right thing, because somebody told her to go down and say something to me when she has no idea what they need in order to lock me in so that they can unload the truck. Which, for you non-truck drivers, you may not understand that, but for you truck drivers, you probably know what I'm talking about. It was just that the truck was just a little too tight against the dock door, and they needed just a little bit of space. But they also needed, because of that particular door I was in, they needed me to slide my tandems. She didn't know nothing about that. And I think it was probably about 30 minutes to an hour later, another guy comes walking out. The guy that should be telling me what to do, because then I'd know what they need. He comes up and telling me, yeah, we need this, need that. I'm like, okay, 10-4. But I've already been there almost 3 hours. I mean, my God. You know, and it wasn't like other people around me were getting unloaded faster. I was that person in line, but I don't know what the hell they were doing the whole time. You know, it was going in the proper order it should be. Matter of fact, I left out before the guy beside me. And he checked in before me. But he had, probably more product. Which they got me done because I didn't have much, I guess. So, you know, it's just crazy how you have to do that. Because what it creates for me is, like I said, when you think you've got that extra time to, man, I can kind of take it easy today, in the sense I can sleep in a little bit. I can ease into the day. I'm parked outside of the receiver. I can just kind of, it was raining like a dog the whole morning and stuff. I can kind of ease into it. Maybe I can wait for the rain to slow down, and then I can go over there and check in. I'm still well within what, we've negotiated when I should be there to unload. Not like I'm showing up late. That's pretty much unacceptable. But, and then whenever that happens, boy, they definitely try to nail you to the cross a lot of times. It's better these days than it used to be. It used to be, in my experience, it used to be real bad. If you showed up late to a receiver, boy, not only would you not get unloaded that day, you might get lucky to get unloaded the next day. You might sit there for days. Hell, if you were Amazon, you might sit there for a week. I had one of those. The broker mixed up on the situation. My dispatcher messed up on the situation. I ended up having to drop that trailer and go grab another trailer somewhere else and go run some loads for almost a whole week, and then come back, and because the way they got their corporate, appointment structure, they can fit people in, but they ain't going to. They ain't trying to lift one extra little finger more. It's just crazy, man. But so that whole situation, that little thing, me, just thinking I could take it a little easier and ease into the day, and instead of going hard, it's 10 hours, wake up to the alarm and go every single day. You hardly can't afford to do that, because you have to micromanage, and you have to show up as early and as fast, as quick and gun-ho as you can. And you got to check on them. You got to call them. You got to, hey, unload. You got to check on them, because they just want to just dick off and stuff, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But that's another part of the job, and that's just, sharing my experience with my truck drivers out there. If you're listening, it's going to be cathartic for you folks that are interested in trucking. Just giving you a peep to the game. Maybe for some of y'all, maybe something outside of trucking would actually be better. It's a lot more than just driving a truck. But it has worked for me, and it does work for other people. And, it can have its advantages, but you got to wait, because there's a lot more than just driving a truck. I'm going to tell you right now. Especially if you OTR. But it can be good for some people. But it's in no way trying to help you get into trucking, okay? We got too many people out here already. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. So make sure you truck drivers are doing that. I'm going to try to do better at that too. Sometimes I do, but I try to leave people alone, man. I don't, it's kind of like going to a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go to a restaurant and telling the waiter, hey, is it ready yet? Or y'all, this is too long. Because I don't like people spitting in my food. I don't want to upset somebody at the shipper or receiver, and then, it's more stress on, the biggest thing is it's a stress on me, and then maybe they want to decide to just take longer. Generally, I think it works for your benefit, though. But I just have that kind of, I guess it's a people-pleasing kind of thing, where you just want to, trust and expect that people are going to do their part and do their job, and that they're doing their best. But, man, sometimes they're just not. They're just not. And just imagine, of all that I said, I sat there for over 3.5 hours. If they had just gotten me done 30 minutes earlier, just 30 minutes, if they had better communication, if they had done their job just a little bit better, I'd be getting loaded right now. and I would be on my way to Indiana this evening instead of having to get loaded tomorrow. They missed up a whole day for me. A whole day, didn't get nothing done. I didn't even introduce that dog today. That's a shame. Oh, yeah, look at her. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're witnessing the cuteness. Let's see how well she can do with it. She says, stop looking at me. Stop looking at me. Ooh. Any dog owner, you just love when your dog does the cutest little things. Like that little moan when they settle into a good spot. That's cute, man. Oh, sweet pup. But I wanted to share that. Make sure you're doing, sometimes you just got to do your job to the nines, man. I feel for you truck drivers, man. There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. People don't understand. They just don't. And it's a shame. I just hope and wish that the industry could get better, because it's so inefficient. I'm just so sad. I thought America was just so much better than this. But man, our commerce, our transportation, and the logistics, listen, it's like 50 years behind, man. Like, it's really sad. It's really sad. They just abusing the trucking companies and the drivers, in my opinion, really bad, man. Got no power. You got no power. Because you know why? Because they know they got too many trucks. And if we don't want to haul it, if we don't want to deal with the bullshit, guess what? Some foreigner that they've brought in will definitely do it. They've been doing it. They're legal. Many of them are legal, not illegal. Many of them are legal. They've been here for decades. They're multi-generational. And they consider themselves to be Americans. And I don't really know how I feel about that. It's questionable at best. But, because it's really flooded. I see it in the industry. I have no hate for anybody on anything physical. It's just the fact of the matter. We've got people out here struggling, working themselves like they got no time for their life. Their work is their life, just to survive. Maybe enjoy a few little things. That's the reality for so many people, man. I just wish that we could run so much better and the people could have it so much better. And I thoroughly believe that if the country wasn't so flooded with immigrants and foreigners, not just from the last few years, but decades, got well over 50 million foreigners. That's 1 out of 6 people when you count all that, that's 1 in 6 people. That's 1 in 6 people are foreigners. New York City is majority foreigners now. It's been conquered. That's a shame. And look, I get it. Foreigners aren't all bad, but it's been too much for way too long, and it's impacting folks, man. When you think about that, the rent prices, when you think about, cost of living, the corporations benefiting so much, but the people are not. And it's really a shame. And I talk about just the logistics side of it. I'm ashamed at how bad the logistics thing is. Like, there's so much time that I feel like is wasted, and especially it's not, they're willing to pay contractors to unload a truck, it's, $200 charge. But if a truck driver or a carrier needs more money to run a profitable business, oh no, can't do that. It's a race to the bottom. It's a shame, man. But anyway, wanted to share all that. I'll probably leave the comments closed because I'm probably going to get some hate on some of that, but I really don't give a damn. Because somebody got to stand on business. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to stand for something. Stop being on the wrong side of history, man. Because our older generation, they didn't and they won't. They're not. They're on their way out. It's up to us to at least say something. Damn. Anyway, I'm out.